Hello, this is Michael from Trike Bike, and today we're talking about the Ciboa Fat Tricycle. New to Australia, the Ciboa Fat Tricycle has been made overseas for many years and is used quite often in snow environments. In Australia, however, it's ideally suited to our bike paths and tracks and anywhere you want to go that's off-road. The Ciboa Fat Tricycle is built using the absolute best premium products that you can get in the bicycle industry. The frame is 6061 T3 aluminium. The same aluminium is used in the aircraft industry. All of the electronics is Bafang or UK River, and they're both leading product manufacturers for the bicycle market. All of the brakes are hydraulic, and they're made by the Chinese company Logan, which is one of the leading manufacturers of brakes used for bicycles and tricycles in the world. We're going to take you through all of the features on the Ciboa Fat Trike. We're going to show you how it works, how to turn on the electrics, how to ride the tricycle. You'll get a really good overview of what it's like to ride a tricycle. To turn your tricycle on electrically, we'll bring the key in, push it into the off position, and we can turn it to the on position. To turn it off again, we can turn the key off and remove the key. You may want to remove the battery from the tricycle for charging or for storage. So to do that, we put the key in, push it in and turn it counterclockwise until it goes click. From there, we're going to lift the seat up by depressing the button on the back. We can tilt the seat forward, release the button. You can then lift the handle on the battery and slide it upwards. It'll slide out of the rail, which is on the frame, and the battery can be taken away for charging or for storage. The Ciboa Fat Trike has a 15 amp hour battery, and if you're using just throttle alone, that means you can travel comfortably about 55 kilometres. If you're going to use pedal assistance, you can extend that range up to about 70 kilometres. So you've got a lot of duration on the battery. We use good quality cells from either LG or Samsung, with our preference being LG cells made in Korea. And for most of our customers, the battery is lasting at least 10 years. We always recommend recharging the battery every 2 months, even if you're not using your tricycle. The Ciboa Fat Tricycle screen is turned on. It gives us a lot of information. We've got the battery percentage over here, so we can see it's 100%. You've got the speed, which of course is 0 because we're not riding. Down here is a very important setting. It's a pedal assist setting. So when you're pedaling the tricycle, you can have different levels of assistance. The lowest level is 1, which will give you about 6 kilometres an hour. And you can also press the plus button on the keypad and increase your speed. So you've got settings between 1 and 5, 5 being the fastest. That'll take you about 25 kilometres an hour maximum speed, but it will also give you the most power to go up a hill. So if you're riding along at say 6 kilometres an hour and you come to a big hill, put the pedal assist button up to number 5 and that will give you the most assistance. As we go down through the settings, you'll see if I go below setting number 1, there's also a setting 0. This will give the tricycle absolutely no electrical assistance, but it will still keep the display on so you can see your speed, and you can also see how many kilometres you've ridden. So that's great for people that are getting exercise, that want to build up their strength by just pedaling the tricycle, and then when they eventually get a little bit tired, they can then turn on the electrics and pedal home. There's different settings we can get from the main display screen. By pressing the power button momentarily, we can cycle through the power setting, the total distance, so this is done just over 3 kilometres, and we can see different power settings and go into the setup of the display. To turn the front light on, we press and hold the plus button on the keypad, and you'll see a little icon comes on the display, and the display dims about 20%, which makes it easier for night riding. When the front light is turned on, the back light also gets turned on. For this demonstration, I put the brake on so the tricycle doesn't race away, but you've also on this model got a throttle, and the throttle can't be used legally on the roads, but it can be when you're off-road. So at the moment, this red button is out, the throttle is completely inactive. To make it active, we push in the red button, and now the throttle will accelerate the tricycle from basically 0 up to 25 kilometres an hour. Because I have the parking brake on, it remains ineffective. I'll just turn the parking brake off. I'll lift the front wheel up, and now you can see that wherever I rotate the throttle, the front wheel will start moving by itself. You can do that without the need to pedal. On the Sebowo Fat Tricycle, we've got hydraulic disc brakes. These are basically as good as you can get in the bicycle market. On the right-hand side, we've got the front brakes, and it's what they call a shorty lever, so you only need to use 1 or 2 fingers to operate. On the left-hand side, we have dual hydraulic disc brakes. This is great because they operate on both wheels at the same time. These hydraulic brakes are also incorporating a parking brake. So to engage the parking brake, we just need to squeeze the lever in and then flick this little button here, and that will hold the brakes on for as long as you need to. To release them again, we come back to the lever, squeeze it gently in, and then rotate the little lever out and release the brake. When you need to come to a stop, about 80% of the braking performance comes from the front wheel and the balance comes from the rear wheels. When you're coming to a halt, just gently squeeze the brakes. You don't need to grab them and apply them really quickly. Just squeeze the brakes gently with 2 fingers on each side and you'll come to a very rapid and, importantly, safe stop. If you can get onto the seat from ground level, so I'm just going to show you, this seat's a little bit low for me, but if I can sort of do the one leg twist and get onto it, it means the seat is actually too low for me. When you're on a tricycle and a seat is adjusted correctly, your toes should be just touching the ground. If you can touch the ground flat feet, it means the seat is adjusted incorrectly. It needs to be higher. To adjust the seat, we remove the seat clamp, so we release it by moving it around. We can then lift the seat up or down to suit the rider and lock the seat clamp again by pushing it. This needs to be quite firm when you do it. The seat itself also has quite a lot of padding, so it's a very good quality seat. If you want more comfort, we do have additional seats available that'll suit the Fat Trike bike. These handlebars are fully adjustable, as is the stem, so to move the handlebars, there's a 6mm Allen key which goes in here, and you can adjust the angle of the gooseneck up or down to suit the rider. And then you can also tilt the handlebars forwards and backwards by releasing the 4mm Allen head screws here, and the whole handlebar will move backwards and forwards. On the front of these tricycles, we have Mozo front fork suspension, and this takes all the bumps and lumps out of the pathways and bikeways that you're riding on. It gives for a very, very comfortable ride. One of the biggest features of this tricycle is the fat tyres. That's why we call it a fat tricycle. These tyres are 100mm wide, or 4 inches in the old language. They've got a really good tread pattern which gives you fantastic performance on both the road, off-road and even on the beach. On the front we've also got a nice fat tyre with the same tread pattern as on the rear. We've got much larger mud guards. The normal guards only used to be little splash guards, but we found when riding in the rain, water comes up, so we've improved this feature by putting on full-size mud guards. Use a front hub drive motor. Now this is really important. Some tricycles get sold with rear motors, but they don't work so well on a tricycle because they turn the tricycle sideways. You should only ever buy a tricycle with a front hub motor, which will pull the tricycle in the direction you want to go. The front basket on the trike bike is a really nice and secure unit. It has the ability to carry up to 5 kilos of weight, and the good thing about it is it's not attached to the front steering. Some baskets are attached to the front steering, so as you steer, any weight in the basket goes side to side and makes the steering a little bit wonky. On the rear of the tricycle we have this really solid basket. It has the ability to hold up to 50 kilograms, and if this isn't enough room for your load, you can actually undo the little tailgate, undo the clips, and swing it down, and then you've got even more room for a bigger load. We also have full-size mud guards on both wheels, which will keep you nice and dry during the ride. Everyone wants to stay connected now. We have 2 USB port outlets on the tricycle, one on the rear battery here, and we also have a second one up on the display. Get onto the tricycle is pretty easy. I'm going to put on the parking brake, so now the trike can't roll. I'm going to grab both sides of the handlebars to give me the stability I need, and then I'm going to step over the centre of the tricycle. Now this can be a bit difficult if you've had a knee replacement like I have, or you've got a replacement hip, but once you get yourself over there, you want to be positioned between the seat and the front handlebar stem so you can move around. Once we're in this position, we'll use our strongest leg. So in my case, it's the right leg. So I'm going to put the pedal down to the bottom of the stroke. I'm going to stand on the pedal to get myself up onto the seat. When you're on the trike, you can't fall off, so from the moment you're on it, both feet stay on the pedals at all times. Then we can reach to the handlebars and get the feeling of the handlebars to see if there's anything there we need to adjust. This is pretty good for me. I've got no weights. I'm not leaning on the handlebars with my upper body. I've just lightly relaxed there, hands on the handlebars to do what they're meant to do, and that is steer, and we're pretty much right to go. Start pedaling. If your feet are in the what they call vertical position, it's really hard to get going because you've got no strength to actually push the pedal forward. So you need to rotate the pedals to horizontal, and it depends on which leg is your strongest. In this case, my right leg is my strongest, so I've got it to the horizontal. I'm going to release the brake. I'm going to add a little bit of power to take off. So pushing with the pedal and off we go. Now that we've gone through all of the basic information for the Ciboa Fat Trike, it's time to go for a ride. Helmet on first, safety glasses, brakes on, and position myself over the tricycle, getting up onto the seat. I'm going to turn the power on and we're going to pedal away. When you're out riding, there's 3 different modes that you can use. Firstly, no assistance. This means the tricycle will ride just like a normal tricycle without any electric assistance. Then there is pedal assistance, where you can set one of 5 different settings and it will assist you up to the maximum speed of 25 kilometers an hour. It is important to know that pedal assistance will only operate while you continue to move the pedals. If you stop using the pedals or you touch either of the brakes, the pedal assistance mode will cut out and you'll just roll to a stop. Third mode is throttle assistance. This is basically what we call twist and go. When you're using throttle assistance, you don't need to pedal. You just twist the throttle and it will go up to its maximum speed of 25 kilometers an hour. Throttle assistance is really good just to get going. So say you're on some wet grass and you want to get rolling and you don't want to use pedal assist, then you can use the throttle mode just to get you rolling and then start pedaling. When you're riding a tricycle for the first few times, you need to be particularly aware that the rear wheels are a lot wider than what you think they are. You need to take this into consideration when riding around corners. Slow down a little bit, give yourself a little bit of extra room, and you'll get around all of the corners and bike paths without any issues. Don't ever be afraid when riding along to put one wheel off the path and into the grass or the dirt. The tricycle has the stability to handle this without you falling off. Okay, to get off the tricycle is the reverse. So I'm going to put the parking brake on. I can then move the pedals around to the best position for me to get off. So here you basically step forward onto the ground. If you spin your leg sideways, all you'll do is twist the seat and twist other parts of your body that shouldn't be twisted. So I'm going to step forward off the seat. I'm going to put both feet on the ground. The parking brake is on so it won't roll away. And then I'm going to step over the tricycle and get off.